Have you ever heard spiritual advice like, just let go and love yourself first, and felt like this ickiness in your body with the thought, well, it's easier said than done? In this video, we will unpack why these tips don't often work and what might help instead. And it's not because you're not spiritual enough. My name is Manon and I'm an Ayurvedic life coach for women, helping women and especially mama cultivate self-care and ritual to feel more radiant and nurtured in their life. So if that's you, remember to subscribe and hang out with us. I know those pieces of advice from spirituality. I fell into them. I thought I had to follow them, and then I realized how each of them were actually increasing the problem they were trying to solve. Let's dive into this. First one, just let go. Just let go inspires us this image of, I've been carrying this burden for so long, I can just drop it. Okay, let's just drop it. Well, if you haven't done it so far, it's because you haven't been able to drop it. Why? Because this burden that you're carrying might have something to tell you about yourself, might have a need that hasn't been fulfilled, responded to. So just let go doesn't work. The analogy I like for this is climbing. I love climbing, but that's not the subject of this video. If you're climbing and imagine that you had an experience of falling off the wall and your partner, your belayer, didn't really catch you. So you had this huge fall and it was scary and you maybe hurt yourself on the wall like several times because this belayer was really bad or not paying attention. Well, you can imagine that the next time you're going to climb with that person, if you ever climb with them again, you may feel like, okay, just grab this wall and don't let go of it ever, because you never know what can happen when you fall. It would be normal, I mean, at least to me, that this person wouldn't let go. Of course they wouldn't. They don't trust the person who's belaying them. They want to survive. They want to protect their life. They want to protect their integrity. That makes sense to me. And this is something you can apply to any situation where you're like, I just have to let go. If you haven't let go yet, it means that there's something very important, like your life or like your emotional life, that is in play. So instead of thinking, I should just let go, think what is needed from me or for me to feel like I don't need to grab so much. What is needed in the case of this climber so that they can actually let the wall go? Well, they most likely need to know that they have a harness that they can rely on, that the rope is in good shape, and that their belayer is actually paying attention and doing a great job belaying them. In real life, what it looks like is if you have people in your life, or if you had, as a child, people in your life that were not reliable, and if you had situations that put you at risk, either physically or emotionally, you developed this grabbing mechanism to save your life. Again, either on the physical or on the emotional level. So instead of just letting go, think about what is the need that is revealed by this grabbing mechanism. What do I need to feel safe in this situation? What do I need to not have to hold on to this so tightly? Second piece of advice that I now cannot hear anymore because it's so unrealistic is just forgive. Forgiveness is the ultimate spiritual trait, right? I know. I grew up in Catholic religion. I know how forgiveness can be this weight bearing on our shoulders that we have to do. Well, forgiveness is not an action. Forgiveness is a result. And if we just understand this, it means that you cannot force yourself to forgive. And I know that you can persuade yourself that you're doing this genuinely. Yeah, I want to forgive that person. I forgive that person. You may just be bypassing and ignoring that you are actually not in a place of forgiveness right now. And that is totally okay. Can we not make it wrong to not being able to forget someone or something or even ourselves for things? Because even the assumption of having to forget is actually counterproductive. It's like you have a wound and basically the world is telling you, no, the wound is not here. Look, you need to let go of this wound. Why are you keeping it in your life? And at first you're like, but this wound needs something. It needs to be cleaned. I need to put some balm on it to protect it and give it time to heal. Well, It's the same thing for your emotional body. If you have been wounded by someone or by something, and maybe if you don't remember it, it's still here. The wound is still here. So if it's still here, you're not going to be able to forgive that person. And that is totally okay. Forgiveness is the result of healing. Forgiveness means that you not only don't hold a negative emotion linked to what happened, but you also thank the thing that happened. You're at the stage where you are aware of what this situation brought to your life positively. If you're not in that space, it means that you haven't forgiven yet. So instead of expecting yourself to forget everybody and yourself, think what is needed by this wound right now. What is this wound expecting from me to do for it? Maybe I need some other people around me to support me. Maybe I need to be seen in that wound. Maybe I need someone to actually give me real empathy for that wound, instead of just brushing it off and saying, well, just forgive. Like that's how to go beyond it. Third piece of advice that the spiritual world tends to blow on us is love yourself first. You've probably heard this if you are trying to manifest a partner, or if you're trying to feel more loving towards other people. You are gonna hear, well, if you don't love yourself, nobody's gonna love you in return. Well, it's not the case. And if you're a mama, you know, like your kids love you no matter what. Your kids don't care about what you think about yourself. They love you because you're their mama. Hearing the love yourself first can make us feel like, well, I have to do this before I can be loved by others. It's interesting because spirituality also says that we are all one, that we are all made from the same matrix. So if you agree with that, you can agree that anybody who loves you is gonna be you, or part of you. So if you love yourself first, it doesn't mean anything because people around you are part of you. And sometimes when you go from hating yourself and not loving yourself very much to actually implementing self-love in your life, which is a hard path, the first step is receiving love from outside and not just from yourself. People in your life are going to teach you how to love yourself. And the opposite is true as well, but it goes both ways. And it's very important to emphasize because it can actually keep you in the trap of, I hate myself, I'm not going to ever be able to love myself, so I'm not going to ever be able to receive love. So then you're going to feel even more unlovable. So remember, you are totally capable of receiving love from outside, even if you don't love yourself very much. People are already able to love things about you that you don't love about yourself. Trust me, I see women in one-on-one session every day, and I know that some parts of them that they hate, I can be this person for them and say, no, I love this part of you. This is why I love this part of you. And this can be really deeply healing to hear and to witness, to experience in your whole being, to have someone actually loving something about you that is so hard for you to love. Fourth piece of advice, don't worry, everything unfolds perfectly. Well, yes and no. On the great scheme of things, with a great picture, sure, yeah. You can look back at your life and be like, yeah, I get it. I get why I went through this struggle and that struggle. But ultimately, when you are in the struggle, it doesn't feel that way at all. And that is totally wrong to, sorry about my words, but to bullshit yourself about this. Don't try to force the great picture on yourself when you are in the challenge. It's really abusive to do so because the humanness of us is that we are in pain during this time. So telling us that don't worry, it's for your greater good, don't be so painful about it, that is fine, you're gonna be fine, that doesn't help. That is just abusive. Also, sometimes I wish we didn't have to go through those struggles. I'm not saying that life should be all rosy and glitters because it's not, but can we not glorify suffering? That is totally unhealthy, and I've been there myself. My cultural upbringing is about glorifying suffering, either in work, in relationships, in families. That is not healthy. And also, everything unfolds perfectly can make us feel like, oh, but that's right, I made a wrong decision, but it was for the greater good, right? Well, don't say that to someone who suffers from that decision. Like I hear from moms, well, I didn't do this for my child, or I was not present enough. But look, they're independent now. Yeah, but I wish they had developed this independence from a healthy relationship with you, not an unhealthy one. And using this everything unfolds perfectly affirmation can be a real trap for us on our growth journey and also on our mothering for our kids. And the fifth tip that we hear a lot from spirituality, manifestation, self-development is just use positive affirmation. Repeat things over and over and over and over and over again, and you will become it, and it will happen, and you will believe it. Wrong. If you are using an affirmation that is so far from what you are at this point, it is lying to yourself. That's all it is. And you know it because when you repeat that affirmation, your body, your mind are like, no. If after giving birth, you had a traumatic birth and you want to heal from it, of course, so you're like, oh, my birth was perfect and I'm now so healed and so fulfilled as a mom, your body and mind are gonna be so resistant to it that it's gonna feel like you have a battle inside, like you have a war inside. And that's what it is. I don't want you to go at war with yourself. I want us to actually take consideration of all those parts of us, including the ones that are so painful and that are still affected by what happened, and not bullshitting our way to manifestation. That doesn't work. You don't need to lie to yourself to manifest your life. So what to do instead? Of course, positive affirmations are a great tool. They're a beautiful way to go towards what is wanted. But you need to take it one step at a time and not lie to yourself. What it means is that what is the first affirmation, closest affirmation you can believe right now? And it might be, I can heal from this traumatic birth. That can be it. I have the potential to heal from this traumatic birth. You're not even talking about healing it yet. It's just about the potential. And that might be the only thing you know. And if that's not even accessible to you, if you don't even believe that, many moms can heal from traumatic birth. And start here. You may think, well, I'm not going to go anywhere with that. You're going to go one step further. This step is so crucial because your mind and your body are going to believe it, so they're going to take it. Of course, you can believe that some moms heal from traumatic birth because it happens every day. So this you can believe. Once you've taken that step, what is the next belief you can have? So using this step-by-step process with positive affirmation is so much more powerful and efficient than just throwing this huge affirmation and repeating over and over to yourself, which may actually just keep you where you are because your whole body and mind is going to resist it and keep you where you're suffering right now. I would love to cover all of those tips in separate videos to make it a whole subject, so let me know if that's something you're interested in. I hope this video was useful to you to remove some of the guilt and the weight on your shoulders from all of those spiritual pieces of advice that we can hear on the internet or in books. And if you love this video, I'm sure you will benefit from watching this one where I talk about how to meditate as a woman and how to do it in a way that is supportive for your health and for your well-being as a female human. So I'll see you there or in a different video, and until next time, stay radiant and nurtured. Bye bye.